You've probably heard the phrase VFV or ZSP and chill, which is very common in investing circles. But is it actually a smart investing strategy? Let's talk about it. Hey friends, it's Reni. Thank you for coming back to my channel, and apologies for taking a little bit of time off, but I am back and ready to be consistent. Let me know what kind of content you would like to see going forward. So today we are going to talk about a strategy that a lot of Canadian investors swear by, and that is VFV and chill. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It is something that is very common in the investing space, and it's basically when you buy VFV or an equivalent fund, let's say ZSP, VOO, SPY, basically the S&P 500 index fund, and you just let it sit. The strategy goes that you buy it, you set it, you forget it, and you let it grow. I also do this, trust me, I have some videos about it, but I wanted to analyze it and see if it's actually a smart strategy for the long term. I recently went to a BMO ETFs event and I asked the experts what they think.
My name is Reni. Thank you so much for this talk. I thought it was very informative. So I am a finfluencer, or I create content on TikTok and Instagram about financial literacy. So the majority of my audience is millennials or Gen Zs who have a pretty long time horizon. So I just wanted to know what you think of the strategy VFV or VOO and chill.
And the responses were actually really good. So I actually wanted to share with you my take and also their take as well. I do have detailed videos on what VFV is, but VFV is essentially a Canadian listed ETF that tracks the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is the 500 largest companies in the US. So think of companies like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, all of those giants. So if someone says VFV and chill, you basically buy the fund and invest regularly and chill as your money grows. So here is what the experts said when I asked them about it.
The whole VOO, VFV and chill strategy takes one variable, which is your time horizon, and uses that to decide your entire asset allocation. But a smart asset allocation also depends upon what kind of tax advantage versus non-tax advantage accounts you have open, what your risk appetite is. That is, if you sell out of a 10% correction, you shouldn't be 100% equities in the first place.
In their responses, they touched on diversity, asset allocation, risk tolerance, long-term returns, and consistency. So let's start off. First, yes, investing in the S&P 500 is diverse. You do have a diversified portfolio, but it is not fully diversified. And the reason it's not fully diversified is because the S&P 500 includes large cap US stocks only. There's nothing else. There's no small cap, no mid cap, no international exposure, and no bonds. And that can be a little bit of a big deal because it means that you are only exposed to the largest companies in the United States. It's not bad per se, but you can actually make a lot of money by betting on some smaller companies because they are riskier to invest in, but they also offer higher returns. So again, the issue with investing solely in VFV is that VFV skips all of those other companies entirely, and you only get access to the giants in the US, but you don't get access to anything else. The second point they touched on was asset allocation, meaning how you split your money between stocks, between bonds, and anything else. So if you're only investing in VFV, you have an asset allocation that is 100% equities, and VFV doesn't really allow you to customize your asset allocation. So yes, you can hold VFV for the long term, but if you're truly trying to build a portfolio that has good asset allocation, then you have other factors that you want to consider. For example, you want to consider what your time horizon is, what your risk tolerance is, what your long-term goals are, and even what account you are investing in. But if you're just investing in VFV, you can't really do anything. You only have what they have allocated in that portfolio. So that's one of the main issues when it comes to investing just in VFV. The third issue is risk tolerance. As I mentioned, VFV is 100% equities. When I say 100% equities, that means 100% stock. So there's no bonds, cash, or anything else in that fund. The issue with this, for some people, is that they cannot stomach 100% equities. If you're someone who feels like a drop of 20% in your portfolio will make you cry or lose sleep at night, then you cannot stomach having a 100% equity portfolio. I don't think a lot of people realize just how risky it is to have 100% of your money in one asset class. And because of that, VFV would not be a great strategy for you if you cannot stomach those little drops that may occur. The last point they mentioned was about risk-adjusted returns. So when you are building your portfolio, you have to consider what will make you the most money over time without taking the most amount of risk. And apparently, according to research, having a 100% equity portfolio actually may not give you the best risk-adjusted return. Basically, it works when stocks are down, which they inevitably will be at some times. Bonds and other assets can balance out your portfolio, and over the long run, you can actually have higher returns. So because VFV is 100% stocks, you actually may be getting less returns in the long run because it's not adjusted for risk. And again, those down times when the stock market will inevitably be down. So here is my take. I agree with the experts 100%. Every single point that they made was valid. But I will say that if VFV and Chill is the only thing that is going to get you to invest consistently, then you should just do it. It is 100% better to take action and actually invest than it is to just sit on the sidelines and think, I'm having analysis paralysis. I can't actually decide what I'm going to invest in. So yes, it is a good strategy, but also you do deserve better than to just chill with your money. You should start with VFV. It is a great place to start. We should also aim to grow from there. So once you are comfortable investing regularly with VFV, then think about adding more diversification to your portfolio. Add in a fund for international exposure. So you can add in a Canadian ETF, for example. You can add in a small cap ETF that tracks some of the smaller US companies. And if you do want a better asset allocation mix, you can also think of adding bonds or other types of asset classes as well. So the moral of the story, is VFV and Chill a bad idea? No, it is not. But is it the best investing strategy out there? Also no. Think of it as like your starting point, but definitely not your final destination when it comes to investing. So let me know in the comments, are you a VFV and Chill investor, or are you somebody who truly has a diversified portfolio? If you are someone who does not yet have a diversified portfolio, don't worry, I have a video on how you can diversify your investment portfolio. So check that out if you are looking to get more diversity in your portfolio. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what else you would like to see from my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.